Shannon Gaffner Holmes, and welcome to my channel. My channel is about epigenetics and living your life balanced. In that balance, there are things that affect our mindset and our thoughts that can really affect the way that we live our lives daily and our outcomes as far as our goals physically, mentally, or spiritually. And I just wanted to talk to you about a few things today. I have reactive levels of Hashimoto's in my blood tests, and I also have dealt with low thyroid production. And in that journey of repairing my body, I have reactivity to dairy, and I'm actually non-celiac gluten intolerant. So I avoid gluten strenuously. And the body's an amazing creation, and the things that are interesting is the things that we eat can really affect our mood and our thoughts. So healing your body naturally can be a very tricky thing. And some of the doctors that I have studied over the time have said that even though you will always be gluten intolerant, you may be able to heal your body to the level of being able to incorporate dairy back into your system. And one thing that I did a couple of days ago is I was told about a pizza place here in town that had opened up that offered cauliflower pizza crust. And I love pizza. I mean, I really love pizza. But there's multiple dynamics about pizza, because when we eat dairy products, it actually is processed in our system, and it creates... So when you consume dairy, the things that it does in your system, it actually creates an opiate response in your brain. And so your body is naturally going to be somewhat addicted to those foods that you like, mine being pizza, because it actually causes a chemical reaction whenever we eat it. And of course, whenever I found out that pizza place offered the cauliflower crust, I wanted to try and see if I could tolerate it. I wanted to see if I'd healed my body to a point where I could tolerate eating the dairy. And so I went and we had the pizza, and it was good. The other side of that is also an emotional side, because going out to eat is one of the things that I enjoy to do as a social event and a bonding event with my family. When you're eating dairy and gluten-free and you are avoiding cross-contamination and things like that, that pretty much eliminates going out to eat, because you just never know what you're going to run into. And when you're trying to heal your body, you don't want an accidental exposure to any of those things to set back your healing process. Well, I also wanted to go to the pizza place to enjoy a meal with my husband and just have a nice time. So I had the pizza, it was great, and I immediately noticed the next day that it messed up my digestion and my elimination process. It already had slowed down my elimination, and I didn't like that feeling. But I still liked the pizza. So I thought, oh, I didn't have that bad of a reaction. And I continued to I eat the dairy. I had some raw cheese that I had had in the freezer for a while, and I pulled that out. And the raw cheese is healthier for you because it is not pasteurized, and so it does possess the enzymes in that process to help your body to digest the milk solids and things like that. So I thought, oh, well, I could get away with that. So for about the last 2 weeks, I was using different forms of dairy products. And I saw that my body was inflaming, but part of me wanted to say, oh, I can eat this, because it really broadened my choices of foods to eat. Well, a similar thing happened. I competed in bodybuilding in the bikini division in 2017. And when I was training for that competition, I had a lot of trainers and advisors tell me, oh, if you get in enough physical condition, that all those food intolerances, you won't have those anymore. And if you're conditioned enough, you can eat whatever you want to eat. because your body will compensate because of your physical condition. And during that contest prep season, I stayed to my strict diet plan, but then when we were finished, it's very common for competitors to go indulge in the things that they couldn't eat during the training season. And I wanted to do the social things with my friends, and I wanted to just relax and not worry about what I was eating. And I wanted to eat the fun things. And so I ate some gluten, and I ate some dairy, and I just went ahead and ate the things that I wanted. And what my trainers had told me and what I wanted to believe, I thought that I was healed enough because I was not taking any thyroid medication and I was not having any reactive levels of Hashimoto's in my system. I thought I was cured and I could eat those things again. Well, that's not true. I really messed myself up, and I gained back almost all the weight that I had lost in that competition season, and all the ground that I had gained by training and by structured eating. Now my body was inflamed again, and I had to start all over with the inflammation process. People are going to tell you as you go along, and if you're healing your body naturally, because we all want to do the comfortable and easy thing. We have an emotional tie to the foods that we eat. Just like if you got out of school each day and you came home and mom made chocolate chip cookies, there's many times when you'll have a stressful day that you'll crave chocolate chip cookies. And that craving is not necessarily that you need chocolate or that you need the gluten or the sugar. The craving is for the love and the comfort and the emotion that you felt each day when you were greeted with those chocolate chip cookies, because you felt that your mother loved you and it was a comfort. So that is where our brain tricks us, and where it's a really big challenge as we go through this journey of learning to eat more healthy and learning to make the wise decisions for our natural healing, to recognize, oh, I'm craving the cookies because I'm stressed and I need to go take a bath, or I need to go for a long walk, or I need to exercise or do something that would create positive endorphins to replace that memory and that association. And some days you're going to be really strong at doing that, and lots of times you can make that wise decision. But then there's going to be that day where you're just not that strong. Things are challenging and you just want to do the easy thing. Well, I personally can tell you that even if everybody else says, oh, you can eat it and your body's not going to react, they're not your body and they're not you. And if I want to heal my body naturally, and if I want to live in a state without chronic inflammation, then I have to do the things that someone else may not have to do. My genetics and the way my body is responding at this point says that I can't tolerate the dairy. It says that there's no possible way that I can touch the gluten or anything like that, because my body physically cannot process those things in a healthy manner that serves my overall goals. So I want to encourage you that sometimes the journey of healing your body naturally can be quite a challenge, and it can be very isolating, and it can be very emotional. I personally rely heavily on my prayer life and my walk with Jesus Christ to give me the strength to get through those days. And even I will make choices and I trip myself up. But it's all just a journey, and I can always make a better choice the next choice that I make. I'm not going to beat myself up about those choices. I'm not going to beat myself up about putting myself 10 steps back from where I was 2 weeks ago. I made those choices and I own them, and that means that now I get to do the hard work of getting the reactivity of the dairy out of my system again. But the thing that you have to remember is, whenever I ate the dairy, then this last week I have dealt with a lot of anxiety, and I've dealt with a lot of emotional turmoil, and a lot of that's going to be associated with the reactions to the food that are not supporting healthy function in my body. Part of that is going to be attacks of the enemy, because when you're doing the strong thing and when you're doing the right thing, you're a threat to the enemy for God's kingdom, And I have a Instagram channel that I will link below, that each morning before work I pray to help bless other people on the live feed. And I'm sure that's really threatening to the enemy, and be that as it may, it doesn't mean that part of my struggle in this last week hasn't been an attack of the enemy, because he's trying to distract me on how I feel to stop me from doing what I feel is a ministry that can help others. So I just want to encourage you that there are things and choices that you can make in the foods that you eat that can make your overall choices and emotions more challenged, because I found that I was more grouchy when I ate the dairy products, and I am more grouchy if I get exposed to gluten. So there's a lot of parts of that people don't even recognize, that the foods that we're eating can really dictate the way that we respond to others and how hard it is to get through each day. When I'm not eating those foods, it's actually easier to make the wise choices and to not be snappy and to have a pleasant response. And so I have to do the hard work of being mindful of making those wise choices and supporting my body's healthy function and moving forward to a thriving lifestyle. I hope this is encouraging, and I hope that this informed you about something that you may have never even known can definitely affect how our brain functions. And please like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you next time.